Death threats against Ontario Premier Doug Ford and premiers across the country. Fact or fiction? That's up for the courts to decide. Hi, I'm Brian Lilley, political columnist with the Toronto Sun. As you may have heard last week, anti-mask, anti-lockdown activist Chris Sky was arrested. Now, Sky, whose real name is Christopher Sakosha, was facing 3 counts of uttering death threats, 1 count of assault on a peace officer, and 1 count of driving erratically. What we didn't know last week was who he had allegedly threatened to kill. Now, after reviewing court documents, speaking to Sky himself, and speaking to the man behind the allegations, Rob Carbone, we now know the details and can reveal them to you. According to Rob Carbone, in documents that were filed in court by Crown prosecutors, Carbone says that on May 12th, Sky called him. As he told me in an interview near his Toronto home on Victoria Day, Carbone says that Sky lost his temper and threatened to shoot and kill Ontario Premier Doug Ford, threatened to kill Carbone, and kill all the premiers in Canada. That is what is found in the court documents as well. Now, I've spoken to Sky. He does not deny that he is facing these charges. He does not deny that he was in police custody or that he's out on bail. But he does say that Carbone's allegations are nothing but hearsay. He also has some choice words for Carbone. Carbone has some choice words for him. All of this is going to be settled in court. And the fact is, we don't know the truth of the matter at this point. These charges have not been tested. The next court date is set for July 8th. That won't even be the date of the trial. So this could drag on for some time. What we do know is that there was enough evidence for police to say they had to act, and for Crown prosecutors to say, yes, we can lay charges. Despite what some people think, you can't just lay charges willy-nilly. Now, Sky did admit to me that he had a search warrant executed on his home and that all of his firearms and ammunition have been seized. But he did say that they were all legal, that he is a licensed gun owner and avid collector, and gave police access to the firearms that he fully expects to get back in after the court case is done. Again, that remains to be seen. At this point, we've got one person saying one thing, one person saying another. But here's what I can and will say about Chris Sky. He's against lockdowns, he's against masks. I get it. Nobody likes wearing a mask, and I've spoken out more against lockdowns than most people in the Canadian media. But that doesn't mean that everything this man is saying is accurate. In my view, Chris Sky is dangerous not because of the death threats. We don't know if those actually happened. We'll find out during the court trial. But I think that he's dangerous because he's selling people on things that aren't real, including that the vaccines that are currently being administered, that I've had myself, that many have had, including some that have spoken out against them, well, that they are more dangerous for you than COVID-19, that COVID is a scamdemic, not a pandemic. I think there are tens of thousands of Canadian families that would disagree with that because they've lost a loved one. Are there problems with how COVID-19 has been reported on? Yes. Are there problems with how governments have responded to this pandemic? Yes. That doesn't mean that it's fake. It doesn't mean that it's false. And it doesn't mean that if you get the vaccine that you are somehow submitting to gene therapy and that Bill Gates will be tracking you with 5G. And yet these are the types of claims that I have seen when I've gone to the anti-mask, anti-lockdown protests that Sky has affiliated with himself here in Toronto. They are people who are selling you a message that simply isn't true. And that's dangerous at a time when people are still at risk from getting sick and dying.